welcome to the Knitting Project podcast. My name is Sharon and I'm coming to you from Surrey in the UK, where I live with my family and my animals. Today is Wednesday the 16th of October 2024 and this is episode 162. Welcome if you are a new viewer, and I know I have got quite a few new viewers, so thank you so much to all my new subscribers, and as usual thank you so much if you are a returning viewer. I am so grateful you're with me. I love seeing all your reactions and comments, and I'm going to try and start answering podcast questions on the podcast. We'll see how we go. I only had one from last week, so we'll see if I remember to do that next week. Who knows? I have the memory of a goldfish. I think we all know that, don't we? And this is quite a short gap between last week's podcast, which I recorded on Saturday, and next week's podcast, which is on Sunday, but I'm recording it on Wednesday, so that's not the biggest gap. But luckily, because I've been clearing out my cupboard, which is behind me here, and is full of whips, I've been inspired to work on other things. So there is a lot of new stuff in today's podcast. So if you were expecting to see progress on some of my regular projects, I'm really sorry. This is not the podcast. I've got one old friend that I'm definitely still working on, but the rest of it is stuff that I've picked up from quite a while ago, let's say, and I've got one new cast on. But I think somebody commented on one of my vlogs, just do what makes you happy. And I think, yeah, it's right. It's very easy to set yourself these rules and goals, etc. But if it's not making you happy, why are you doing it? This is supposed to be the time that you get to relax and enjoy what you're doing. I've got rules and goals for work and I have to hit those deadlines. I can't say, no, I'm not doing those. But I can go, actually, I don't fancy working on that project today. Just because I have a arbitrary deadline in my head that I would like this finished by such and such date doesn't mean I have to. So I think I do need to be a little bit more thoughtful in doing that and not making these rules for myself, because I find then that I'm not working on things, which is ridiculous. I'm doing something completely different. So let's not do that. Let's just go with what's taken our fancy. So pretty much I should rename this episode What's Taken My Fancy This Week. I have tried to not put them in the vlogs too much, so it's a bit more of a surprise for the podcast, because otherwise I feel like I'm repeating content quite a bit. And also I don't want you to feel like you're missing out if you don't watch the vlogs. You're not. All you're missing at the moment, although if you do like yarny content, I have done a lot of sorting through project bags. So there has been a lot of yarny content in the vlogs. It hasn't been quite so much my day in the life. It's more been sorting out. So certainly the last 3 vlogs since Saturday. So any vlog that's gone up since Saturday is very much more yarny content. I think the first one is actually entitled It's a Yarny One, something like that. So you might enjoy going back and watching those, because it does sort of show you all of the oranges. Oranges? Oh dear. No. Origins. There we go. Of all of these whips. And oranges. Oh dear. I'm sorry. It was going so well. Oh, I hope you're having a laugh with me. Never mind. I was doing so well. So yes, it might be worth going to watch the vlogs. Anyway, probably enough chatter for now. Shall I show you some of these many things that I've got? There's 4. There's not many. I've got 4 things in my basket. I haven't got any happy mail this week, which is sad. But never mind. Right, let's get on with it. So let's do, first off is my new cast on, and that's living in my lovely Draco Luna or Luno Draco bag. Can't remember which way I named him, but he's gorgeous. My lovely Luna bag. And this is a hat for me. It is the Tchaikovsky hat, which is from a knit vent. Does it give a date on it? No, it doesn't. It's quite an old knit vent. It's one I absolutely loved. I love that knit vent. I think I knit quite a few things. I think the Dust of Snow is from this as well. And I'm knitting it in for a horrible moment there. I thought I hadn't got the ball band. It's Skiing Queen, and it's their Southern Wool Show 2021 colourway Rainbows in Newbury. So I bought this at the Southern Wool Show in 2021. And oh, it's so pretty. So that's it wound up. It's a DK. And that's how it's knitting up. So I'm on the 1x1 twisted rib. The needles I'm using are Chalgoo, can't remember, 3.5mm. And then I think it goes to 4.5mm, which I also bought. That's right, it's 4.5mm needles. I was saying on one of my vlogs, had anybody noticed that the if you've got brand new Chalgoos, that the cords seem to be quite sticky. Somebody else had commented that they noticed it as well, and they give them a wipe beforehand. I was thinking what I might do is give them a wipe down with my screen cleaner, because that's the stuff I clean my glasses with. That might actually stop it being sticky. Once you've used them, they're not sticky anymore, but once you've used them, they're fine, but they seem to be a bit sticky to start with. But so yeah, that's the start of it. I need a hat. Basically, I was going to do it with floof, but I'm not knitting with floof at the moment because it's very much affecting my chest and making me cough. And I noticed that I was working with it when I was chatting to a friend on like a FaceTime recently, and I was choking every couple of minutes, and I took the floof off of that project. Here's what I'm going to show you, and since I've done that, I've not had the problem. So it definitely was the floof. I know it is much worse when I've got a cold, and as you know from last week's podcast, I am recovering from a cold. I am feeling so much better today. I'm still a bit bunged up, but nothing like what I was, although ironically my voice keeps going, which is not going to be helpful on a vlogging series. Hence another coffee. But I love this pattern. I've made loads of these hats, mainly with the floof, admittedly. I'm kind of gutted that I've made all those ones with floof and given them to other people and not got one myself, but there's not much I can do about it. I'm gonna have to just put up with it. I'm thinking I should be able to get away with at least wearing it on my head, but I've got to be able to knit it first. We'll see once the cold's gone how we get on with it. But yeah, I love this. So pretty. Such pretty colours. Right, so that's that one. So that's number one. That's the first one. And yeah, it's the Tchaikovsky hat from Curious Handmade, the lovely Helen Stewart from one of her knit vents. But I believe all these patterns are available separately now anyway. You don't have to buy the entire collection, although the one that this one comes from, oh no, I've just had a message from my daughter. She fed her dog this morning. She's the one that's whining before she went, and I've just fed her, so she's now had 2 breakfasts. She is a hobbit. Oh well, she didn't eat much when she came out of the anaesthetic from her op, so we'll go with that. Anyway, going back to this, sorry. Yeah, this particular collection has got a lot of nice patterns in it, so have a look at the patterns before you decide if you haven't got this knit vent. Public service announcement, this year's knit vent is out. It's on pre-order, so I've already pre-ordered mine. I do love a knit vent. It's all part of the lead up to Christmas for me now. So this is my lovely bag from Stitched by Mrs. D. I have wanted one of these cuddly animal bags since Paula started making them. But I have, every time I've gone on her update, she's not, that they've always been sold out. And I saw Paula showing this one on her vlog. She did September vlogs. I was like, oh, I really want him. He's lovely. And yeah, luckily I went on, every single one was sold out except for this one. So I was like, yes, that one's mine. And yeah, he's not just going to be for Halloween. Right, what's up next? Should we go with the old friend next? Let's see what progress we've made on this. I have started knitting this while I'm editing because it's just knitting round and round and round in circles. It's like a giant sock. So this is the Summer Sorrel by Wool & Pine. It's knitted in 4-ply. I'm currently using 2 balls of Folk Yarn Studio Winter King, Night King. Oh no, Night King, Winter King. It's from her Game of Thrones collection, and I can't remember whether it was called Winter King. I think it was Winter King. It's beautiful. It's this lovely icy blue. It's so pretty. And I used a mini set from All's Wool That Ends Wool, which I got from another summer Southern Wool show a long time ago. So this is currently inside out. Just a disclaimer, this is not what it looks like. This is currently inside out, but I really don't want to put it back right in the right way, just because it's such a pain to get it to go back again. So this is what it looks like. I've done the yoke in a fading set of minis, which is the All's Wool That Ends Wool minis. It was I think called Pastel Rainbow. There are a couple more minis after this, but they were very close to this blue colour, so I just went straight into the blue, because also I needed to do the sleeves. And then I've done one sleeve, and the other sleeves, it's only got short sleeves on it, although I think it's quite drop shouldered. So, and now I'm just going round and round on the body. So if we go to here, let's put these all down. That is my little podcast friend. So that's where it was the last time you saw it in the podcast, and then this is how much progress I've made. So these I've put on each time I've picked it up to do some more. So I picked it up twice, no, 1, 2, 3 times. So I'll put another one up there. So I'm going to put, well, actually I'll put him up there because he's my podcast one, and I will know then for the next podcast how much I've knit. So yes, I've done quite a bit. I'm quite pleased with the progress on this. I mean, that's the sleeve and that's the length of the body, so it's nowhere near done. But it's getting there, slowly but surely, a few rows at a time. And like I said, it's really quite great now because it's just a giant sock, and I'm helical knitting. So I've got one ball's there, the other's there, so I'm about to come up to my next slips to helical knit. If you want to learn how to helical knit, which is the jogless join basically, check out Grace, who is Babbles Travelling Yarns. She's got a great tutorial on it, and that's how I learned how to do it. I used to have to refer back to her video each time, but I don't now. I've worked it out, but it's a really good tutorial. So yeah, it's getting there. I've got some good progress, and I love my hot air balloon needle stoppers, which were a present from a lovely podcast viewer and dear friend Brendy. Part of our June babies birthday swap that myself, Brendy and Laura do, because we're all June babies, which is kind of cool. So that's that one, and that's hanging out in my So Sweet Violet bear bag. So next up, this was the result of a conversation with my friend Kate, and the fact that I found it during the whip clear up. So this is I don't know whose bag this is. Is this a So Me bag? It is. It's a beautiful So Me bag. And in here is a mystery gnome. So I'm not sure which year it is. I should have looked up some details of this before I actually... I haven't even got the pattern. Don't know where the pattern is. So this is a mystery gnome from 2022 maybe. 2021 and 2022, and that's as far as I'd got with it. And at that point I kind of abandoned her for some reason best known to myself. I stopped knitting her. So I picked it up the other day. Possibly the reason I stopped knitting her is this is one of the fiddliest little things. So it's a mitt and an arm, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that must have taken me about an hour just to do that little bit. It was interesting, shall we say. And yes, I know I was supposed to have sewn my ends in before I did the arm, but I didn't, so you know, oops. But yeah, I just think it's probably about time, bless her, she got finished. And I really wanted to knit a gnome. So my friend Kate McGee, knits loads and loads of gnomes. She's kind of like the gnome queen. I think she's done all of them, or pretty much all of them. And it's just fantastic. She's got just the most amazing collection. And every time I see her, she always inspires me to knit gnomes. And she's just got the new Imagined Landscapes gnome book, which looks amazing. I might have to invest in that. And I just thought, oh, do you know what? I want to knit a gnome. I was like, I know I've got one that's like very nearly done somewhere. But I didn't know where she was. So now I found her. I'm going to get her finished. Even if I just knit a little bit on her each day, she'll get done. I feel like I want to do some gnome knitting each day. I just think it'd be quite nice to have a little collection of gnomes myself, especially now I've got that bureau where I could put them. I'm going to end up with less and less books along the top of it and more gnomes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out a vlog, because that was part of the whole room restructure, was that there was my bureau's gone in here, and I absolutely love it. It's my favourite space in here at the moment. But yeah, gnome. What is she? I don't know what she's called. What a bad podcaster. I also don't know what minis I've used in this. There's literally nothing else in this bag. Nothing at all. There is no pattern. There's no... I mean, they're obviously minis. I'd say they're probably hedgerow, because that's what they look like. But... I mean, I've obviously spent some time and love and care doing this, so let's get her finished. She's going to be... I mean, I've just said, haven't I, about not having goals, but it'd be nice if we got some progress on her by next week's podcast. That would be good. But, yeah. So I'm working on her. I've only got a tiny bit of that colour left. I've got quite a lot of that colour left, and I've not used this colour yet. I'm assuming this is going to be... like facial features. Maybe that's going to be the beard. Really don't know. I'm not even sure whether it has a beard, if I'm honest. It's a mystery. I've not seen the finished one yet, so how I've managed to get this many years down the line and not seen a spoiler for this, I do not know. Or if I have seen a spoiler for it, I certainly can't remember. So, but yeah, we're gonna work on her and see whether we can get some of her done. She just requires a little bit of thought, so she's not one that you can just take along with you and take out in the car and things. But yeah, so I'm doing that on 2.5mm. I've got one Chalgu, one Likey needle, which I need to possibly swap out for a Chalgu, because I think that might make my life a little bit easier. But yeah, it's hanging out in this little bag, so I need to find its pattern and yeah, get her done. That would be nice. So my next whip is hanging out in this lovely bucket bag by also by Sorrel. It's a Sorrel bag day today, which I love. It's brilliant. It's just the right size for this. And this is the Vintersol by Jennifer Steingass. Knit Love Wool, and it's a yoke sweater. So where it's blue on this, I'm doing green. Where it's black, I'm doing brown, and where it's this grey colour, I'm doing pink. And the pink did have floofing with it, but I have taken that out now. So let's have a look. This is how I'm getting on with it. It's a bit tangled. Right. Hold on 2 seconds. I think these needle stoppers are from So Sweet Violet, but I'm going to put them on because I don't want to accidentally pull my stitches off. Right, there we go. So this is it. Now, I've never done this construction before. And it did fool me when I got it out of the bag and I couldn't work out what was going on. And it was only when I was talking to my friend that I sussed out what it was. It's knit from, you do a provisional cast on and then you do the yoke upwards. So this bit here is the chest. And then you do the yoke up to the neck and then you pick up from your provisional cast on and carry on with the body. And presumably the sleeves at that point too. Presumably you split for the sleeves at that point. But I'm really loving how this is working out. So I can just show you a little bit of it so you can actually see the pattern. I think it's going to look really good. I can't remember why I put this down. I think I thought it was going to be scratchy. It's not. Or it just got into sort of spring and I was like, nope, I'm not knitting a heavyweight winter jumper in spring. I don't know what the story behind this jumper is. I may have to go back and watch previous podcasts to see if I've got one on there. But I don't even know if this has been seen on the podcast. But I love it. I love how it's looking. I like my colour choices. Green is not a normal one for me. But I do like the pink and the brown. I do like the green. Don't get me wrong. I do like the green. But it's not a normal choice for me. And let me show you the yarn. It's commercial yarn. So we've got brown, pink and no green. So that's the brown and the pink. So the two colours I'm working on at the moment. And then living in this Royal Warehouse bag is the green. And this is Sorrel Country Classic. And it's a acrylic merino mix, I think. Yeah, it's 50% merino wool, 50% acrylic. And it's one of those hand wash only ones. It's not a commercial one you can actually, tumble dry. Which means I'm bound to felt this at some point. So yes, they're my colour choices. And it's all hanging out in this warehouse bag. Actually, should I give you the colour numbers? So that is shade 672, which is Fern. That is shade 658, Melba. So it's a bit more of a peach than a pink, really. And that is shade 679, Chestnut. I love that brown. It's very rich brown. And it's a worsted weight. So it's a bit thicker than a DK. I don't know if that's what the pattern calls for, or whether I've just gone completely off piste. Who knows? I'll have a look in a second. I'm knitting it on 4mm needles, I know that, which is normally my 4-ply jumper one, so who knows. Okay, I have just been double checking this. It is a worsted weight yarn, and it is 4mm needles. There's also apparently some short row shaping in this. I have no clue where. I can't see it. But I'm going to have to be very careful with that when it comes to joining it at the bottom as to where the short row shaping is. So the short row shaping, I don't know. We'll find out once we get it on a needle, I think. But it's an interesting construction. So it's a hybrid of top down and bottom up, apparently. That's according to the pattern. But I'm really enjoying knitting it, to be fair. It's a fun knit. It's very pretty. And I definitely want the finished article. So I probably need to get on with this. Wonder how much more of that I'll have done by next week. Who knows? Right, that's it. That's all the knitting content. I have one question to answer, which was from my lovely friend Brendy, who gave me the hot air balloon needle stoppers, who asked, will I find my Brioche Adventures wrap? I finished that. That was an FO. I have got that. That's around somewhere. Last seen, I think, in Meg's room. Yeah, that got finished. Did I not show that on the podcast? If I find it, I might show it. Yeah. So that's it from me. I haven't got any happy mail, so I can't show you any happy mail. And pretty much all my life stuff is in the vlogs anyway, so there's probably not much point in repeating any of that. Oh, thank you, dogs. I think they're telling me it's time to go too. Right. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Take care, and I will hopefully see you next week.